skin, breathing in. Oh, how the time does go.
Hello. So many of you have been asking me for an update on the family, the baby, the renovations, everything. So here we are. It's a very hot summer's day. I'm whispering because just for the first time ever, Raffaello and Gianfranco are both sleeping. And yeah, let me update you. As you will have seen from the intro, we were in Greece, which was spectacular. My grandparents on my mother's side are Greek, as some of you know. It was our first attempt at a trip with the baby and the toddler, and as those of you who have traveled with small children will know, it's not exactly a holiday, I would say, because it's pretty intense, like trying to get them both to nap and sleep and, you know, all the deal with everything. And Gianfranco travels really well, even when flights are delayed and we're on ferries and buses and everything. He has never been with a screen, so we weren't sure how he would go, but he just looks around, asks lots of questions. He's very, very easy. Raffaello, on the other hand, was a bit of a nightmare. He was just screaming and crying. He suffers a lot with the heat, so he was just difficult, let's say, and I was practically breastfeeding for 16 hours straight on the trip there and the trip back, and then also in the car. He doesn't seem to like cars, but it was wonderful to be with family, to be by the sea, which I've missed so much, and just cooking food outside, eating outside, these balmy nights, those first nights of summer that are just so magical. And it was definitely a team effort, and while I was trying to take a nap in the afternoon or the morning or something, my parents, my sister were definitely a huge help. Yeah. Yeah.
Sunshine again on my skin.
Wow!
Breathing in. Oh, how the time does go. Sun on my skin, breathing forever things.
I wanted to answer a question that I've been getting a lot, and I've been meaning to respond to it. It's regarding like feeling that you have certain aspects of your life sorted at certain ages, and the pressure, the ticking clock, the feeling of inadequacy. And I certainly experienced that myself, and I think that it's not just something that people are susceptible to when they're in their late 20s or 30s. at any age, because we all have these associations with particular ages, no? Like, even you imagine, okay, you commit to a partner, you imagine you'll grow old with them, and then perhaps you've got divorced, or perhaps you've grown apart and you no longer have anything in common, and you think, I never thought that I would be this age, and looking across from someone that you felt so disconnected from, or you thought that when you retired you had this image of what life would be like, or just the more common ones, it's like you thought that at a certain age you would have your career would have taken off, you would have independence in having your own home, you would have found a partner to share a life with, and another big one is obviously family, having children. I wish that when I was in high school they had spoken more about fertility and just how difficult it is. They never spoke about anything. I really have only just started having these discussions in podcasts and articles and in books and everything now, which is wonderful. And I always thought, no, I really want to think very seriously about who I would make a life with. And I don't know why, because I have a very happy parents, perhaps because of that. They have a beautiful marriage, and I was very conscious of wanting to create a beautiful childhood for children if I was lucky enough to have them. And then my fear was, imagine wanting to give that love and security to a child, and then realizing that you're co-parenting with someone with whom you're not aligned, or where there's so much conflict it's just not possible to go on. And that was a fear for me, and I suppose that's why I waited for a long time. And I suppose that's why a lot of people ask me, what do you think about settling for a partner in order to either avoid loneliness or be able to deal with diminishing fertility, which is always, unfortunately, a huge pressure for women. And then, yeah, it's not a question that I feel qualified to answer. I would love to open it up to you, all of you, because you are so diverse, really. There are men, there are women who follow this channel, there are people of all different cultures, and a lot of you are further down the track than I am. You have not only children but grandchildren. I guess you have to keep in mind too that it is a different time now, and I've been reading so much about it, and they are commenting on the fact that before, men were, I suppose, getting themselves together a bit earlier in life, and they would sort of have their career sorted. I tend to meet a lot of men, friends or just acquaintances, or even just interviewing people, and even in their early 30s, late 30s, and early 40s, they're still feeling quite lost and not settled, and haven't chosen their career. Whereas I think, for example, my father's generation, my father's 80. Okay, so my mother's generation, she's a bit younger, but also my father's generation, they were a lot more focused or decisive, or perhaps they just weren't aware of so many options. Nowadays, everyone's saying, go after your passion, and perhaps that has created a little bit of, it's disrupted things a bit, because so many people, not just men, but I suppose also women, but what I've been reading about is that the men are feeling a little bit lost, and therefore perhaps they're not as ready to settle down as soon as the women are, and women are excelling in their careers, and they've got themselves sorted, they've got their savings ready to invest, to buy a house or whatever, but it's not aligned with the men, and it's pretty much the biggest decision you'll ever make, choosing who to grow old with or have a child with, or whether to choose to have a partner, because that's fine too if you don't want to, if you feel like you're better off being independent, perhaps you've had a relationship that just left you feeling a little bit depleted, and so you want to make a life alone, that's fine. But just that decision in itself, are you going to go it alone, that is such a big decision, and more so than what job we do, what country we live in, what lifestyle we have, how we look after our bodies. None of that is as influential, I think, as who you partner with. And I always believed that, even when I was 18, but even more so now that I do have children, I think pregnancy, postpartum, and I imagine also raising an adolescent, it changes dramatically depending on what kind of partner you have. I have this forum for mothers, new mothers. I was following it during my pregnancies, and there you see all different kinds of mothers posting different things. They're trying to work out what's wrong with their baby's got a rash, or they're just sharing what they're going through postpartum, no? And it is incredible for me. I never comment. I just read it all, but I read it all with such fascination, thinking, gosh, there's such a spectrum of experience. You imagine, you assume that, okay, you are a parent or you have children, you have a mother, so you must then immediately understand each other, but not necessarily, because it's such a different experience depending on what kind of partner you have, whether they are supportive, whether they are under financial strain, whether they really wanted the children, or whether it was something that just sort of happened and they had to adapt and they're just struggling with that change. So yeah, I all of this to say that the choice of who you partner with is very significant. But what do you do? Do you risk loneliness? Do you risk missing that window of fertility? It's hard. And then the other question is, do you think someone can change? There are many people who say you can't change an adult, especially an adult if they're in their let's say late 30s, 40s. They're set in their ways, men and women, right? So that makes it even more crucial for you to be quite discerning in who you choose, because you can't go into it thinking, well, we'll just work on this and no matter what life throws at us, we can find a way, because where there's a will, there's a way. Well, maybe not. If it is true that you can't change someone, if behavior fundamentally is kind of impervious to encouragement or any kind of support that a partner can give, then what do you do? Do you just have to wait around for the perfect partner? Of course, perfection is a foolish aspiration, because none of us are perfect, and certainly as you change, as you go through different ages, you're going to even yourself have different interests and a different level of tolerance for what life throws at you. This topic is also pertinent to this video's paid partner, which is BetterHelp. You're probably aware of them by now. They're an online therapy platform, and you just click on the link, which I shall put in the description box below. It's betterhelp.com/Kylie, because my particular link will get you 10% off your first month of therapy. And when you arrive at the site, you fill out a questionnaire, and then they partner you with a professional therapist who can talk with you about all these issues. If you don't feel the vibe, you can switch therapists at no extra cost. And I do think that having someone with that objectivity is of crucial importance, because let's face it, like, friends will often have an agenda. Don't you think that, for example, if they have just come out of a really difficult divorce and you have one fight with a partner, you call them up, tell them about it, they'll obviously feel a little bit of bias and say, they don't deserve you, you should leave them. Or for example, our parents or family member will often, understandably, think no one's good enough for us. If you have parents who wish you well, I know a lot of you don't, but yeah, on the whole, there are people rooting for us in our life who have great intentions but don't have objectivity. And so I believe that a therapist can speak with you about this big life decision, one of the most important decisions, and try and get some clarity and try and make sure that you're not telling yourself a narrative that perhaps if you could jettison, you might open up yourself to more opportunity to be with someone who's really going to be able to weather the storm of life through all different ages. And I don't know. I don't know what the answer is on how to choose the right partner. I myself, I always thought there would be more options. Does that sound strange? But I did. I sort of thought by traveling the world or by really following what you love. A lot of people say that. Do what you love and you will attract the right people. Go and live your life, irrespective of whether there are dating options or whatever, and because you are radiating that high energy of yes, I love my life, which I have always loved my life, you will attract the right person. Yeah, to an extent it's true, but is it really? I think a lot of it is just random. Like, are you randomly going to cross paths with someone and them happen to be at the right stage in their life? It's so that's a lot to fathom. It's a lot to navigate. A partner is not necessary for everyone, but if it is something that you crave, it is an incredible aching, a yearning, because you are constantly faced with all these people who are getting engaged and getting pregnant and going on holiday with a partner, and it all seems beautiful and wonderful. And some people who are younger might assume that, okay, once you get married, that's like you've made it to the finish line. Like, it's like musical chairs and you found your chair and you can sit down and relax because the music's stopping. But no, because I believe that that's just the beginning. You may have won the courtship and found that person who agrees to make a life with you, but it doesn't mean that the work has ended. And I think that that's important. It's something that I see in my parents. They have both really always put a lot into the relationship, whether that be forgiveness or whether that be just sometimes letting things slide, like not making everything a big issue, or understanding that if your partner has a difficult period, that you don't abandon them. You stick by them and say, hey, this is just a chapter. This is not who they are if you know them well. But even my parents, who are happy, even my mother says she doesn't know whether it was just luck that they happen to still be really attracted to each other at all different ages, they still have the same interests at all different ages, or is it that they put in the work? Which one is it? Or is it just both? I don't know. Also, my best friend, who is the godmother of Gianfranco, came to stay, and that was lovely. We haven't had anyone come to stay because it's been really intense. I haven't updated you a lot, but I'm definitely still in the thick of postpartum. It's just still a struggle, but definitely getting better week by week. In terms of the renovations, there have been little changes. It's so hot here, they can't work outside for very long. I feel like I'm always saying this to you every year. This is truly the longest, most drawn out renovation you've probably ever seen on YouTube, but we live in an area where things don't happen very, very fast. They were building a wall, which Gianfranco and I went to see, which is so he was fascinated by, because they do it all without cement, so it's just choosing each little rock like Tetris and placing it in.
Bello.
They also installed the wood-fired stove, which will be great to make it nice and cozy in winter.
Guarda, amore, hanno messo la stufa! Hanno messo la stufa! Wow! Hai visto?
And Guido found this beautiful terracotta chimney which they attached on top, and they're just doing a lot of the landscaping around to prepare the space and for the garden, which I can't wait to start getting into. I suppose we won't be planting anything just yet, but it's starting to take shapes.
There's also some little cupboards, yeah?
Don't see what's in them.
I do want to see what's in them. Let's have a look. Oh, you're opening them.
We came back from Greece, and I don't know if you ever have this feeling, you come back to your home and you think, I really want to get a new sense of balance. I think it's also with the changing of the season, because when we left, everything was green and luscious. We have this horse with her little foal there on the property, and it's all really beautiful springtime.
He's turning around.
He's turning around, yeah,
He can see us.
so he can see us.
Now he's turning around.
Vieni qua, Gianfranco, come here. Look, 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 look.
There he is.
There he is.
Turning around. Can you see his big nose?
Yeah. And then we came back, and summer. All the fields are now golden brown before they were green. They call it an African heat here in Italy because it literally comes up from Africa. But with the changing of the season, I find myself sort of feeling like it's a chance to start over and make some new rituals and get yourself in order. Fortunately, I have to say, since I was 6 weeks postpartum, I have been really consistent with keeping up with my workouts that I do 4 times a week. That I use the app with Trainwell, which they're not sponsoring this video, but I just absolutely love it. It's kept me so consistent. I do it with Gianfranco because it's not possible to find a time when both boys are sleeping. It's very, very rare that it's happening right now, but so I tend to just, so that I can be consistent and do it every morning, I just do it with Gianfranco. We make a game of it, and he's climbing all over me, and he has his little weights, which he does it as well. He's so strong. He has 2 1 kilogram weights, and he does all the little exercises with me, and it's a nice time to be super tactile with him, because I sleep the whole night with Raffaello, and then it's a nice time to just focus on Gianfranco. I still find myself quite, let's say, torn, just always going between the two. I don't know, how do people do it who have 3 children? I do not know, because well, maybe it's also about your expectations. I really love to be very present. Raffaello is now 6 months old, which is exciting because I suppose everyone has different ages that they find the easiest, and for me, I don't have like newborn baby who's just cuddly and sleeping a lot. It's super intense, physically, emotionally, just really draining. And then I find that this stage now is so beautiful because he's just giggling nonstop, and he's still very, let's say, a Velcro baby needs to be held and breastfed a lot, but it's just so much easier when you don't have a baby who's in pain. So that is definitely a blessing. Difficult to explain because I have never felt so completely just broken by the sleep deprivation, and yet I would definitely welcome having a 3rd child, I think, because yeah, I just love it. I really am in my element. I think there's such a gift, and I would love to have a bigger family. I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there. I haven't even really discussed this as a family yet, but I'm just saying that it's interesting how you can be simultaneously so completely wrung out and at the end of your tether, and also want more. You're saying yes. But I'm sure there are many people out there who might be able to understand what I'm talking about, hopefully. Thank you so much for your incredible response to me reaching 300,000 subscribers. I made a little video, kind of a montage of the last 15 years of my work, and it took me so long. It's only about a 5-minute video, but it took me forever because I had to go through so many different, about 60 or 70 hard drives to gather all the different footage from different periods of my life. And I got quite nostalgic, just thinking, my gosh, it's been such a long ride. There's been so many different adventures and so many different chapters, and reading your comments, many of you writing, oh, I've been watching since you were single. I've been watching since you lived in Rome. I've been watching since you were making TV shows in Canada. So many people, and even from back in like 2010, it felt really emotional for me to read some of your comments and think, wow, you've been around for so long and you've been supporting me and encouraging me, and I know like fragments of your stories. You know, I watched this with my mother who's in hospital, or I've just moved to a foreign country and I watched this alone and I'm hoping to meet the love of my life. And okay, I will stop chatting on and let you get back to your day, but thank you so much for your wonderful support. If you do want to go and watch that video, it really helps me because I've sort of put that as my channel trailer now, so you can find it at the top of my channel. I am excited about the summer. I have all these ideas of things that I can bring you over the next few months, so I hope you will come back. I'm trying to stay consistent. If I haven't slept in 3 days, I'm just a bit slower, but I thank you for your patience. And yeah, don't forget to check out that link for BetterHelp if you're interested, because I know a lot of you are writing to me with different issues that you're going through, and yeah, maybe they can help. Okay, thank you very much. I'll see you next episode. Alla prossima.